Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all. We're going to be diving into some more Spiritfarer today. But first, as has become a weird tradition around here, I have some terrible candy. I don't know if this one's actually going to be terrible, because I actually trust Haribo. They're a German company that's been making candy for a long time, but this one's interesting. Sweet and sour hearts. But what I didn't realize when I was given this is I thought, okay, so it's like a sour candy that turns sweet because that's what candy does. Gail, thank you for the 14-month resub. It is, and in fact, February. As of today, it's February, so I don't know what to tell you, but thank you for the resub. But what I didn't realize when I was given this, there are in fact two flavors. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but on the back, there's the sour and the sweet, and they are slightly different shades, and you can see the slightly different shades in the bag. Hey, Kit, thank you for the 14-month resub. So let's try this out. It smells of artificial strawberry. Okay, so I think the darker ones are sweet. I'm going to go with the sweet one first if I can. It feels like a Haribo. Oh, we got a father joke. So I sent in my application to art school with focus on origami, but they sent me back a rejection letter, and I just don't know what to make of it. I don't think I've had a Haribo that's actually fresh, come to think of it. Except for until now. That is a sweet strawberry gummy. It just takes forever to chew. All right, let's try this sour one. Wow. As soon as I put it in my mouth, it can taste it. I haven't even bit into it yet. Yeah, I dig these. So on that fine note, let's dive back into some Spiritfarer. I think I'm just going to munch on these throughout the stream now. You're going to need some of these? I think so. Okay, so last time, it's been a while. There was some sort of ruckus going down at the shop place run by raccoons. So we're gonna go check that out. We're probably gonna support the union. The X is the interact button, which is a weird choice to me. Step right up, potential prospect. Welcome to Raccoon Inc. We've been serving Hummingbird since forever. You've got the glims, I've got the goods. I've got all the wares to make you spend those hard-earned glims. Step right up. Okay. Yeah, A is the correct interaction button, or X. Okay, I thought there was something about a... Okay, so Atul... I guess Atul's supporting the union? So we need to give him some pork chops. Don't know where we find those. Find a second sheep and escort it back to Mount Toriyama, but we need to build a sheep enclosure on our boat. Head to bottom line core. And find stone. So yeah, we're looking for bottom line core. Sheep. So we've explored all of that. That's locked up. I'm out here looking for the right house to start a family. My wife sent me out to find something that might fit our needs. A garden, maybe a pool. I'm not asking for much. I just can't decide. I know that you can't help me, but it helps to say it out loud. I might stumble on the rarest of finds. Okay, so I'm guessing Bottom Line Inc. is not here? Is Bottom Line Inc. the place with the shark? I don't remember now. Oh, hey. Francis says it's your lucky day. How lucky you must be. I've got a new errand for you. Fresh off the presses. Take a look-see. Sure, I'll buy some odd seeds from you. They seem to plant interesting things. Let's take a look at this map, see if this helps us figure out where Bottom Line Inc. Mustang. Albert's Shipyard. The Everdore. Koseki Quarry. Holstein Mines, but we can't get there because it's behind the ice wall. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, I guess. Oh, there it is, Bottom Line Core. If we just look around enough, we'll find it. Let's see how hungry our residents are. Uncle O'Toole? I was hungry as usual, so I did something about it. I went outside the boat and gathered some berries. But I went a little overboard. I have too much. Here you go. Have a wonderful day. Well, thank you for the berries, Uncle. Let's give you a hug. What is my favorite fishing minigame? I had an answer for this once. Oh, Cult of the Lamb, actually. A little hug always brightens my day. Give you a bouillabaisse. P4G. Oh, Persona 4 Golden. I have not played that one. Hey, Lizzie loves coffee. Good to see ya. Get some coffee. Hey, look, Lizzie loves coffee. We got your thing. We got the coffee. FF15 fishing minigame. That's your favorite thing about Final Fantasy 15. That's, that is some faint praise. Nope, she's not in there. New request, I must be off. Ooh. Who is that from? From Gwen. Find Gwen's whereabouts. Okay, so we'll go to bottom line. I wonder if Gwen's back at her family house. Really wish Stella could consume the food too. Be great to have her drink a cup of coffee. That would be nice. I mean, the mediocrity of Final Fantasy 15 and it not being 13 verses is fair. When the dragon found me back home, I knew I had to leave. I felt I wouldn't heal unless I left. I didn't know it then, but I needed love, and no love was to be found in this accursed place. But in my exile, I met your aunt. I'd never seen anyone as joyful as Rose, filled to the brim with uncontainable life. You remind me a lot of her, Stella. She nursed me back to health, little by little. Without her, well, the dragon would have taken me. Right there, I'm sure of it. And I never would have met you. She taught me, not as one normally teaches, but by opening my eyes to what was already within. Oh, it's beautiful. To the rich interior life, unquashed by the dragon, unquashed by my father. The interconnectedness of all things. The universal love. With some immense debt I owe her. Well, maybe that's why I feel the need to teach you. Aw, bring it in. Give me a hug for that one. Don't you feel better now? Okay, you're hungry. Let's just give you a raspberry. Bottom line core discovered. I suppose I should... It's corp, not core. Well, I'm glad 16 was less of a disappointment. Wake up. An excellent salesperson always carries what the customer needs. So, my well-off patron, what can I do for you? I can't buy anything from you. Oh, hello. The time has come, my friends. Let's trample the thorns of inequity. Let's burn the tangling ropes of low-wage employment. Let's tear down the golden walls of the upper class. Your conditions have been appalling. It's time for you to revolt. Let's show this capitalist pig that it's your work that creates the wealth and value. Your work that makes him a profit, and he is the one living off your backs. Do not despair, my friends. Together we can reverse this unjust stream of enrichment. Together we can finally give the power back to the working class. Power you deserve and wealth you should benefit from. Time to claim what is rightfully yours, my friend. I want designer sunglasses. I want to talk. There we go. Oh, hello there. You've come to join the protest? Yes. Good. Come on in. I even have a little something to ask of you since you just arrived. You'll find up there the CEO of this company. He's left his office and won't come out. Coward. See if you can convince him to face his employees and have an honest dialogue with them. We won't budge before conditions have improved. I don't think I'm an impartial arbitrator all of a sudden if you're asking me to both join and go talk to the boss. If you'd asked me in the reverse order... Sprout! Look, that fuse box. The glass is all busted up. That's not up to code. If I were the union leader, believe you me, I'd make sure the greedy boss eats his own shoes. Okay, so we have Uncle Atul's guidance that this union leader's not doing a good job. I think I need to get that fuse box fixed to get back up there. But that sounds like a future problem, because our friend, she needs us, so. South Point Docks. Isoki Quarry. Garinu Fields, Mount Toriyama. Iwashima Countryside. Villa Maggiore. I think we want to go there. Have you ever rung the bell? What happens? Yeah. First thing in the morning. So you see... Oh, you don't see it. Because I'm covering it. There's a time wheel. And just after you wake up, you need to ring the bell. And if you don't, people are more sluggish that day. Where's Gwen? I don't know, Uncle. We're looking for her. We're going to go back to her family place, since that seems to be the best lead we have. Sweet. Money. The cat is too adorable. I want to check out this shipwreck, but I need to fish. Let me guess, you're hungry? Yep, he's hungry. Here, have some grilled mushrooms. Oh, delicious. I had a hankering for this. I wonder where Gwen could be. Maybe she took a trip to clear her head? You should look for your friend, Stella. I am Uncle Atul. Rude. Soul. I like soul. It's tasty. Need fire glow. Loom's upgraded. Her home's upgraded. I need linen fabric to upgrade his thing. Need a blueprint. Blueprint. And that's upgraded, so I need to make some linen thread. Soul has character. Yep. Do souls have a soul? They do. They just don't have an immortal one. Let's make 10 cloth for now. Because some things do still need the thread. So I don't want to lose it all. Linen. The superior fabric. Boom. We got you a shower, Uncle O'Toole. Weird question. Can priests have refreshments in the confessional like water or Coke? Yeah. It's depending on how long I'm in there, I always have a water with me. It's bad form to have certain things like snacks. Like I wouldn't sit in there with a bag of Cheetos and be like, "Oh yeah, tell me about your sins." Oh, God's the father of mercy. But no, absolutely. Especially because if you're in there for an hour or more talking, it's good to have something to quench your thirst and help you be able to talk. It's always awkward if at the end of the day with confessions, a priest is trying to hear one and goes, and you can't understand them. It's like, oh, take strange candy instead. Yeah, well, this is good. This isn't even that strange a candy. It's pretty good. It's honestly kind of hampered by the fact that it's not all the sour variety, I think. I've been trying to do like a sour and a sweet at the same time. But honestly, just a bag of the sour ones would be fine. They're not even super sour. It's like the amount of sourness of a slice of lemon in a whole glass of water. But I do appreciate that the sourness is in the candy itself, not just like a coating. I don't remember what I was going to do. So I wonder... Okay. I need leeks to make her a Monstera Deliciosa. Stella, we're coming. No, I'm Stella. Gwen, we're coming. I can remember my name and your name. Almost there. Come on. Ooh, we guessed correctly. You can't see it because it's behind me, but the quest marker just said advanced. Maybe I should move myself to the other side for this game, but and I even have that set up, but Stella, I'm sorry. Sorry I even considered doing this. Ending your days in your family house is so cliche to boot. I can't explain myself either. I just wanted to finish it off, To decide to go out on terms how I'd go, and not let myself be taken away. I've been weak. I'm sorry. Oh, the irony. I feel so selfish now. Sometimes I wish I could have been like you, but rarely. Crap. Hug me now. Thank you so much. I needed that. You always pull through. Take Gwen onto your boat. Okay. So I think it just implied that Gwen took her own life. And I don't want to make light of that in any way, shape, or form, because that's a very real thing. And it was very real emotional hardship that some face, both those suffering and the family members around them. So if you need help, please reach out to a hotline or someone who can love and support you. But also, I will confess, I appreciate how this game just handled that it didn't play it off in any way, shape, or form. And there is some, the fact that Gwen is a spirit, that her life has ended. She has a certain sort of reflective quality on what has happened. And it's kind of, I don't know, I don't quite have words for it, but I like how they are handling this. Look, this will come as a shock, but I'm ready to leave. I just can't fight it anymore. But it's okay. I know you're with me. Bring me to the Everdor, where you met Karen. I'm ready. I think. What? New request one last time. Take her to the Everdor. Let's set up the course for the Everdor, even though it's night, so we're not going to be going there. Oh, it's glowing. That's new. Kate, in answer to your question, was a good rule of thumb for going to confession a number of times? I would say, church institutionally kind of expects members to go. Oh, here's the morning bell to wake everyone up. It kind of has an expectation of once a year at least. I'd say twice a year for most folks. Maybe once a quarter would be a good rhythm, but there is something to be said about. She sounds like someone who's at the end of a long disease. They need to feel it's okay to let go sometimes. Yes, that is a very good way of putting it. And I think her disease is more the emotional suffering in her family. It's not an ailment as a disease, like a microbe or something, but still real nonetheless. And that she had to and it's tragic because sometimes it's often that, in that situation, a person may feel that is the only solution. No on-call at Tool. I do not want to catch lightning. No, I didn't. Okay. I was trying to actually not, but we're here now. Oh, well, we'll make some glims. Put on a show for our friend in her final voyage. I love fireworks too. I would not recommend doing something with fireworks like this. gunpowder at the base of a grounding rod. No, that's a terrible idea. Yes, Kate, you're absolutely right. There is a stigma that mental health is something you need to fix yourself or is caused by you and you alone. And there are internal factors, that's a reality, but there are also external factors. And we need to understand both and understand how we live and move and have our being in light of both. And that's really what enables you to have a holistic approach to mental health and a good mental health. But, we do have stigmas and and those stigmas unfortunately cause more suffering. So, and we do what we can because none of us are perfect and none of us are gonna know exactly what to do in every moment. But if we can all just trying, just reaching out a little bit, it can go a long way. And this game is showing a kind of a very healing. I like that she's getting a chance to heal from it herself. That it wasn't just the end, that she is able to reflect on it and seek healing, especially with her friends, Stella, and, come to a peace. Not a way of, justifying anything by any means, but, she's coming to peace and she's saying, okay, I'm ready for the Everdoor. Jimothy, do I own my own game systems or do the policies not take vows of poverty? Does vow of poverty mean something different? Vow of poverty does mean something different to each community. Different groups will emphasize it in different ways. Technically speaking, I do not have a vow of poverty, but that's for another canonical reason. That's because the Polis are what's known as a society of apostolic life. We take one promise to follow our Constitution, and built into the Constitution are the evangelical counsels of poverty, chastity, and obedience. The way we define poverty is gospel simplicity. We think in modern America, it's dishonest for us to say we live poverty when we have, 3 square meals, we have a roof over our head, we have means. No, I do not want to catch these bolts. I need to tell you that so the boat will keep moving. So how it works is any money I make from apostolic ventures, say a salary from working in the parish, that goes automatically to the local house. Now, the local house will give me an allowance each month. We get $350 a month. And that's, so we can do things, have hobbies, go to the movies, whatever, which is good and healthy. But, we don't live poverty in the sense of we have nothing, because that would be dishonest, because we do have a roof, we do have meals, we do have health insurance. So the hardest part is there are internal parts to mental illness, but oftentimes the diseased brain is not capable of overcoming. Oftentimes we need an external source of healing to empower us to work on the internal part. Amen. Amen. Yes, it is a both and, that we do need to recognize the internal influences, but also recognize the external aid and help. Therapy is a huge, huge help. I'm a big proponent of therapy. There's nothing wrong. Hey, P. Tony, welcome to the channel, everyone. Welcome, Raiders. Hey, Young Blake, thank you for the follow. P. Tony, but not different. P. Tony, but with more hair. P. Tony Raid. You joined us at an interesting time. We're playing Spiritfarer, which is a game about journeying with souls into the afterlife. And we are about to take our friend to the door, the gateway of the afterlife. So it's really been beautiful. Yuha, thank you for the follow. TC, thank you for the follow. But yes, also in answer to your question really quickly, Jimothy Pepper, yeah, we don't take an extreme level of poverty like some groups of Franciscans or other orders, not because that's a bad thing, but because it's just how we live and move and have our being for the sake of mission is different, and for some people that is the mission. So Stella, okay, here we are, I guess. I guess I had been waiting for that moment to arrive. Sooner or later. Will you accompany my friend? Absolutely. Thank you. So this is our friend Stella. She had a difficult life with her family, and here we are. Stella, look. There's something I wanted to give you. I used to hide it in my old music box. I don't know why, but it always felt like, to me, it was the best hiding spot. Here it is. My old lighter. I haven't thought about this old thing in a while. It barely works. I stole it off father when I was 12. Please use it to remember me. In good times. Hey, Duke of Pizza, thank you for the follow. In bad times. They exist together. Yes. Intertwined. If there's one thing that you learned from me, it should be that. Yeah, I mean, Jimothy, mental illness does not necessarily prevent one from priesthood. I mean, it can be a difficulty, but there is a legionnaire on Twitter. His name is Matthew Schneider, I think, and he's like he has autism himself, and he's a very vocal proponent of having autistic-friendly spaces in churches and welcoming people. So proof that it is not a barrier. And it will vary from diocese to diocese, but, you know, I mean, ultimately, all priests should reflect the human condition in many ways, so. Now that Duke of Pizza follows Father Evan, I might start trusting him. That's fair. Seems I couldn't escape it, doesn't it? Me being here now. You know me. I've never been one to dwell on the past. Mainly because it always felt overwhelming to me. Like an irrepressible wave of resentment. But even at this very moment, I still wonder. I don't know if I ever tried to connect. I've been so sure of it. My opinion just never changed. You know what I've always said? That people come and go, but don't pay attention to each other. They never really did. That lives are only ever parallel, adjacent at best. Well said. I can see that now. And you're proof of it. And not just you, but Mum cared as well, in her own way. And others here, even given the circumstances. I still don't know about Father. I should probably forgive him now. Find that last shred of strength in me. Would that make me a better person? Would that make a difference? Maybe. But after all this, I don't think I care. And it doesn't matter. Because I had my best friend by my side. I had you. You are a wonderful person, Stella. My life would not have been the same without you. The light you showed me was more than a beacon. It was a guide. I was only too blind to see it. My shades were too opaque. Okay, let's go. I can't hold it any longer. I mean, I want to play Clock Tower. I just have... After the first invite, it was like I was busy and then I was out of town, so it's been difficult. Thank you, Stella. Thank you for bringing me here, even if you didn't want to. Thank you for kicking my butt and shaking my ego. And don't forget that I loved you as much as I could. Goodbye, my friend. See you there. Hello. That was a beautiful scene. Well, that had all the feels. Yes, yes, it did. Oh, okay. Hold X at the butterfly. Yep, I got there. Aw. Those are memories. Those are memories of Gwen. I think. You need a triple jump. No, I just need to manifest a guitar. Like I manifest an ore or a scythe. Honestly, from a narrative perspective, that's a fascinating way to have a death scene. And I know it's not unique to this game. Like, there have been other examples. Hello. But, like, to have a death scene after... Are we death? Sort of. We're death in the same way that, like, Karen, the boat keeper, is death. We are a psychopomp. But we're not necessarily finding bodies and taking them and saying, okay, time to go. We find souls in this sort of intermittent afterlife, and we're journeying with them to bring them healing, to take them to the Everdoor, which is... Yeah, we're the ferryman. The game actually opens with Karen, the ferryman, being like, all right, I've done this for long enough, your turn. And it gives us the magical belt buckle that we're using to do all sorts of things. But the Everdoor, the big bridge thing that we just took our friend to, where she transcended, that is just... Okay, so this is us and Gwen in life. Gwen is the red one. It's described as the beginning and the end. Yeah, it's not often that you get a positive representation. That's what really interested me in this game, is that it's not just a positive representation of passing on, but like you are an active agent of it, being the psychopomp, and two, it is a journey of healing, because a lot of the people, I mean, Stella had a very difficult family life. Like, her father neglected her, and you bring her healing and to a place of peace so that she can pass on. And the Everdoor is described as the beginning and the end. So I've been reading it as that is heaven, that is God himself. Yep, Gwen was the deer that we just took, but all the spirits are manifest as a color and an animal. So like our uncle is a blue frog, Gwen was a red deer, but the memories we're seeing in her human form. Ah, we finally meet, face to face. For such a long time I have been watching you, Stella. Close, yet far. You've kept your distance. But you knew I was there, hidden in every shadow, skulking in every silence. Since the very beginning, I have been a part of you, even as my existence was but a foreign thought. And as your loved ones surrounded you with care and affection, I waited silently. Your joy, your pride, your happiness. Moments of laughter, of bliss, of friendship. Gone. I know it feels just like yesterday, but the hourglass has turned, and at last, you have found me. Go now, for I have not yet fully awoken. Resume your duties. Carry on your graceful dance. We'll meet again. Soon, Spiritfarer. Yeah, I thoroughly recommend this game. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, all this is like hand animated. Aw, Spiritflower. Yeah, you're right, Lizzie. The bridge shape absolutely does tie very well. And then on the boat itself, it's kind of like an Animal Crossing-esque village sim. You have to grow crops, you have to take care of people. What is the cat other than cute? He is our companion. There is a two-player mode where one of the people gets to play the cat. Really quickly, what are my quests? Pork chops for our Uncle O'Toole. More sheep at Mount Toriyama. Talk to the CEO and find things. Can we build that yet? How often does the world continue on even when we're gone through? How often do I have to keep up with weeding? Not at all. There's no like weeding, like time stops when you're not playing, as a game should. But I love the aesthetics. The game feels really good. That is fair. But no, this game, it's... Yeah, I don't want another job outside of my job. But no, this one... And it's pretty simple. It's mostly just like growing things and feeding people. Let's cook some tea leaves. How about a meal, Stella? I'm starving. Well... Oh, thank you. I was quite hungry. Let's give you a hug. Best part of the game, you can give everyone a hug. I love the smear frames on the cat. The cat is... I love the animations of this game, but you can... Come on, kitty. Come on, where are you? No. It is possible to hug the cat. Do I have to... Oh, I have to duck. There we go. I knew it was possible. Thank you, Lizzie. Cup of tea. Time for tea. All right, Uncle Atul, you're probably hungry because you're always hungry. A little hug always brightens my day. Delicious. I had a hankering for this. I'm sure you did. Cats and teas. This game is perfect. Yes. 10 out of 10. I suppose I can actually remove Stella's apartment. Which is weird to say. Can you? Oh, it's unsalvageable. Does someone else take it at some point? Sawmill, fields, summer sanctuary. It's the memory of friends lost. Ooh, well put. What do you mean I can't conveniently lock up the memories of friends lost and put it in a cupboard and never think about it again? As if that were a healthy option. Well, not time to destroy our house. Time to repurpose the space. Wait 1 second. I don't have a joke for the loom yet. I might have one soon. It's coming. I can feel it. Looming over me. Bad Roxy has redeemed a father joke. Do you have a joke? He had one in the end. But I do have another one. I went to a mathematician for a tattoo. He really did a number on me. Hey, K-Max. Doing well. Welcome to my shipyard, young traveler. Here, my prices are a customer's best friend, so what do you need? I need the sheep corral. What a joke. Come for the intellectual discussions of death, stay for the terrible jokes. Copper ingots. Need more oak planks. Did you hear about the guy who was trying to get on parole? To get potable water on his land? He tried everything, and eventually one of his friends sent him a card saying, "Get well soon." Boo! Oh, that was terrible map. Well, you got Kit's applause, so... what was I gonna do? Well, I guess I can check this out. Oh, I need to go to the sawmill, that's it. Because I need to make some oak planks. So I can make the foundry, so that I can then make the ingots. Notice you didn't get applause, Father Evan. Moobot did not like your message. Sorry about that, map hack. I'm still training Moobot to not be quite so touchy, but part of it is I forget to go in and modify its settings. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the joke. If you spend 2,500 channel points, you too can get a father joke at any time. I'm doing terrible at this minigame today, and it keeps giving me this crazy pattern. But Nintendo told us touch is good. Well, at least this doesn't have woggle controls like the Wii. You should set that as my viewer redeems. It's a good one. So Foundry. Oh, the Foundry is big. I'm sure nothing will go wrong having the Foundry right next to the kitchen. Oh wait, I can't. It's too tall. I think the Foundry barely fits. Rotda. It's great when we all inundate. Yeah, that's why I put a 10-minute timer on cooldown on the father jokes. But Rotda. Today's first reading is Christ in the Gospel of Mark sending out the or first reading. The Gospel is Christ sending out the 12 apostles 2 by 2, and one of the things he says is, you know, shake the dust from your feet if you're not welcomed. And I reflected on that's solid advice, because sometimes there are conflicts in our life that are just not good and helpful to us, and it's okay to say that and move on with life. To step away from it and say that this will not help me, this will not help the other person. Ooh, gratuitous educational content. I like that one. Did you activate? No, no one activated that one. Nintendo ads for the Wii and DS were weird. Yeah, well, but not as weird as PS3 ads. Remember the PS3 ads with, like, the crying baby doll? And everything levitating and then exploding? You must have stripped that from your mind. That's the appropriate response, I think. Do one more batch. When did I add a timer to the jokes? You agree with Gail? It was a couple weeks ago. It was after Christmas, I think. Yeah, y'all did just give me like 5 in a row, and you know what? We were going ham on the jokes. I really prefer my jokes on rye. Sheep corral. Oh, look how small that is. You can squeeze that in right there. Chat's trying to rye it over these bread jokes. I have a feeling these aren't going to pan out. No, I don't want bottom line core. Where's the... There we go, hummingbird. Because we can go get a sheep now and take it back. That seems stale. What's the vegan version of going ham on? Like feeding 2 birds with 1 scone. It was a bit crusty. I'll butter you up with the next one. One thing I like about this game is, you know, there are the things you need to do, like the farming and the fishing and the smelting, but you can do a lot of that while you're journeying from point A to point B. So it feels like it's nicely balanced. So you have something to fill your time. And I've never really felt overwhelmed by the duties of caring for the house. Oh no. Okay, good. That was perfectly timed, because now I can come down here and I can get the shipwreck stuff. This is 2D Stardew Valley, it seems. Just slightly less heretical. I haven't gotten that far in Stardew Valley, so I don't know. I can't say on its heretical value, but I got blanks. Thank you, Uncle. Nope. Nope. Wrong button. Sometimes the button config gets weird. You're convinced that the only reason the villagers allowed you into town is so you could fatten yourself up as a farmer and they could eat you. That's terrifying. Okay, I don't have aluminum. I don't have marble. I don't need another orchard right now. Wouldn't that be a wild game? I think I'll call that one To Serve Man. Soylent Green. What if the secret ingredient is people? No, that already exists. It's called Soylent Cola. Oh, how is it? Oh, it varies person to person. You made some planks for me. Thank you. You're hungry. You always are. Give you some grilled veggies. The ship on this service is incredible. Wait, the ship on this service? I mean, To Serve Man is from, the Twilight Zone. The ship on this service is incredible. Life of a streamer. Say something once and you'll never live it down. Twilight Zone is underrated. The new season was deeply mid. K-Max, it just was. There was like one episode I found genuinely funny and would want to rewatch. But it wasn't terrible at the same time. It just kind of... eh. Sheep! Sheep! I know you're here. Where are you? Also, I can open that up because it's full of glims. Wait, what was that? A delicate asphodel. And Spiritfarer. It can be used to upgrade your boat. Ooh. Should I feed the sheep coffee beans? I'm not going to. I'm going to feed it some raspberries. Unfortunately, as mid as the episodes after the first reboot, or some of the reboot episodes were really good, though. The season finale, when Zoidberg found love. Yeah, this, which reboot? Yeah. I don't remember exactly, like, order-wise. Is this enough to get you to follow me? Is this... Yes. Trust me, I've had a sheep. Nothing could possibly go wrong. I know that, and I'm still terrified. Although, to be fair, goats eating coffee is how we discovered coffee was the thing in the first place. Good sheep. Yeah, some of the reboot was good. Alright. You take care of yourself, Mapak. Good to see you. Where am I headed? I'm headed to Mount Toriyama. I think. I need to check quest really. Wait, what? I didn't say I was leaving. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Then, glad you're still here, Mapak. I mean, you make your choices. What you thinking, Uncle O'Toole? I don't have pork chops for you. Sheep. The sheep is hungry again already. Peter and you are gonna start their co-op stream soon, so I'll probably just lurk. That's fair. No, Uncle, I don't want to catch lightning in a bottle. I have enough. Sprout! A storm! We'll try and catch some lightning. Remember, the Everlight will protect you. What do you say? No. Stop stopping my boat. Thank you, Mapak. Happy to have met you too. Especially your professional streamer TM overlay. But no, you're a cool dude too. Aw, thank you, K-Max. Let's see. We could cook some coffee. Maybe eel and mushroom? Maybe that'll make a nice meal. We could probably get some good supplies at Mount Toriyama too, like some oak and maybe some coal or other ingots. Or ore, I should say, not ingots. Maybe the real friends are the streamers we met along the way. I'm not opposed to that. Soto Checo, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. This is a very impractical boat design. You can say that because you're not in my congregation. This is true. Summer wants 3 gemstones. Do I? How many gemstones do I even have? 1. 2. I have opal and citrine, so 1 more and I can give gemstones to the snake. No, not build. Nope, not add it. Improve. I will admit, sometimes the controls of this game can be a little confusing. No, Uncle Atul, quit stopping the boat. No. I already have enough bolts. Oh, bouillabaisse. Why can't coffee be mixed with, like, strawberries or raspberries? Exactly, raspberry latte. No. There we go. Let us plant some seeds. What are you thinking, Uncle? Pork chops are way into my heart. Cappuccinos in New York dry enough? All the Utah baristas keep making sad, wet cappuccinos. I would not know. I don't drink coffee. We're close. We're close. Let's do a little fishing on the final way there. Oh boy, more junk! Give it to me. It's a good time to clean off the side of the ship. There we go. Is this an eclipse? The time thing is saying it's still the middle of the day, but... Oh. How about a little snack, Stella? Oh, thank you. I was quite hungry. I suppose she could eat the tea, actually. Because she's a vegetarian. Yeah, that was an eclipse. That was cool. It was beautiful. Do I need to do something with this sheep to get it to come with me? Breedy Bard, welcome! Thank you for the raid! Welcome, everyone. We're playing some Spiritfarer today. That was some awesome cross-stitch you had, by the way, Bree. Bree was showing off this cross-stitch she's been working on for a while. It's the original 151 Pokemon. It was gorgeous. It was very detailed. Oh, good job. You brought a second sheep. Oh, look at them. They'll be so happy together. They're acting kind of coldly. That's surprising. They just have to get to know each other. I'm sure they'll be best of friends in no time. As for me, well, it was nice feeling needed. What? You want me to join you on your travels? Oh, no. No. I couldn't possibly impose myself on all of you. Besides, I'm sure there's no room for me. For sure, this island is a little bare, but I'm sure a little house could fit quite nicely here. A little bungalow with nice vines and potted flowers, maybe, with pale tones and a cozy cottage facade. Oh, and green window shades. My, that would be so wonderful. Oh, sorry, I was lost in my thoughts. Now you go ahead. I'll be fine just here. Guess what, Alice? You just gave me blueprints. Hey, Happy Cynic, welcome. You were lurking, but bar trade. The joys of lurking in multiple chats at once, right? Okay, Alice's cottage. I need oak planks and iron ingots. I don't have iron ingots. Let's go back to Mount Toriyama and let's see if we can get some resources. Maybe we'll find some iron. Well, you may not be quite finished yet, but it still looks awesome. The Spirit is faring very well. We actually took someone to the Everdore, the space where you kind of take your spirit friends into the next phase of eternal life. And we gave her a beautiful send-off and farewell. And it was a beautiful, cathartic, emotional moment. Okay, that's coal. That helps in the long run, but it is not iron. You know, I think the map actually tells you what resources an island has, so I should probably look at that. Still, getting this amount of coal will be helpful in the long run. Big rock. I will build you a house and you will join us, Alice. I just need to do some other things first. Okay, so... Wasaki Quarry... What? Oh, it's too dark to navigate. Alice doesn't live here. Not yet. Nebula pillbugs. I don't know what that is. Let's go find out. I think this is the nebula pillbugs. The eclipse we saw earlier. Okay. So that answers what that is, but... Seems... Oh, hello! We had a very large pillbug on our ship. I think I needed a different crewmate. Because these events, there's like the lightning that Uncle O'Toole lets us do. Gwen helped us do the jellyfish. I wonder who's going to help us do that now, or if we can activate it on our own. I have a feeling this quarry is going to have some good resources, though, being, you know, a quarry. Osake Quarry. Ooh. I see you, Sparklin'. And yet you just had coal. Okay, so that goes way down. Does this become a dead end? No. I was holding it. My finger slipped. Oh, hello, Spirit. All right. You got to get it together, Gregory. This is your day. Today is all about digging. Any problems you have, leave at the door. This is a new day. Big breath. Oh. Gregory, you're psyching yourself up. I believe in you. Miniature diorama and amethyst. I wonder if that counts as one of the gems we can give to our snake friend. My manager is really stressed out. He told me to be quiet today. I shouldn't even be talking to you. When you don't always see the sun, you can imagine it's always noon. That's what my boss keeps saying. Yay, iron ore! Management is coming today. I better make a good impression. I've been practicing my business face and all. Hopefully they notice me in all this darkness. From this mine to the boardroom, moving on up. Chat, do you have your business face on today? I cannot get over how good the animations are in this game. Like, even when I overcharge the pickaxe, like, that's a whole animation, and it's really beautiful and well done. Okay, bend that way, so I need to go down. I haven't been all the way down yet. It's my first day on the job. I have no idea what I'm doing. No one is training me. This place is falling apart. Okay, well that was a bit of a jump. Just because no one's training you doesn't mean it's falling apart. It just means that you're feeling a little lost of what's going on. I think I'm supposed to train that guy over there. I really don't feel like it. I've been really tired over the past week or so. I can't sleep at night. Let's just hope he gets the hang of the job without my help. Would not recommend that form of training, but you know, I'm sure we've all received it at some point. The new stage of multitasking. I'm updating my VR headset while watching you play. I wonder if Twitch has a VR app so you can watch in VR. Okay, that seems to be everything out of the cave. Let's add in some more coal. Oh, hey, you have...
Stella, I'm longing for something to bring great joy into my life. Obviously, I'm talking about food. Firstly, something of substance and from the earth. Maybe a nice little grain salad. A delightful hearty mix. It's always been a favorite of mine. He has redeemed a father joke. Gotta think about one now. I really used a lot up earlier. Is she... Okay, we can give her a hug. She is hungry. Oh, thank you. I was quite hungry. So I could give her the mini diorama, I guess? But I need to give her crystals. Oh, is that a piece of citrine? Did you know citrine promoted motivation and activated creativity? I've also heard that it encourages self-expression and enhances concentration. A true mind revitalizer is an emotion-balancing stone. Oh no, our snake friend believes stones can do things. Oh, an opal, a burning stone of passion and love. The stone of seduction, which resonates with burning desires and release inhibition, but stabilizes emotion as well. In other contexts, opal also brings about loyalty and faithfulness. Okay. An amethyst! What a treat. Amethysts are healing stones, you know. Ailments, emotional issues, nightmares, and other afflictions can be cured with the power of amethyst. They're great to balance chakras as well, specifically the crown chakra. Stella, and with that last gem, my basic medicine cabinet is complete. And since my meditation room is already furnished with a nice little altar, you can come by and admire it at any time. In any case, I'm truly grateful for all your help. You are always, after all, a radiating presence, a beacon of light. Still, I hadn't planned on it, but I think I have something more important to teach you. For our next class, well, we'll have to leave the boat for that. I've heard there's a nice spot at Mount Toriyama on a cliff overlooking the horizon. I think it would make for a nice classroom. Well, we're headed there anyway. I am ready for you are. When you are, just set sail.
Yeah, I like the... I really dig her design. The fact that, like, one arm is her tail and another's just like a elbow made out of her body. And she's actually very sweet. Girls and their crystals. But Kit, I owe you a father joke. You know, you think after giving all those stones I'd have a good bedrock for a joke, but here we are. Glad I got a chuckle out of you, Bree. Give me my ingots. Honestly, the turning it a yo-yo into a hacky sack into a ball, it just feels unnecessarily showboating. But you know what? I'm here for it. Why? I guess this is supposed to be metal, but it looks like a wooden basket, and I'm very worried that I'm dropping basically semi-molten ingots into a basket. Oh, I need oak planks. I hate this one. I feel like that would not be a good way. Wait, how many oak planks do I have? Okay, 22. It was just... I got 4 from that last one. That threw me off for a moment, because I thought I didn't have enough. Okay, Alice's cottage. You get to live next to the kitchen. I didn't get to Mount Toriyama again. Which is good, because we actually need to go to Toriyama to talk with our snake friend. And there's another spot with the dragon. What's this? Urogawa. I do... As I am inferring it, the dragon is depression, and I really like that representation of depression. I think it's really good. Junie Purwood is rated with 8. I'm getting all the raids today. Welcome, raiders. Welcome to the channel. Doodle raid, doodle raid. Being oh many names, thank you for the follow. What were you doodling, Junie. I was lurking earlier when you were doing the Sorry about that, Column Mage. Sometimes Moobot gets a little overzealous in the protection. I need to tone it down. Yeah, my Moobot settings are maybe a little tight. I was lurking earlier. I saw you playing that, like, Celeste / Metroidvania looking game. It looked interesting. And Calmage, thank you for the follow. But man, I'm getting like all the follows from, or all the raids today. Because Pitoni raided, and then Bree raided, and now Junie has raided. And I love the pun in your name, by the way, Juniper Wood. I love that. So, for those who don't know, Junie is a VTuber. She's a moth. Cute little moth. Just go give her a follow. She's cool. Yeah, it's all good. We're actually going to be wrapping up here pretty quick as I look at the time. This is one of the dangerous games for me to stream, because I could just lose track of time and wind up streaming this one for a while.
We're here. Oh, what a nice, quaint place. And the view, well, it can't be beaten.
You have to support your local well, local as in Twitch. Yeah, that's fair.
Yes, this will be perfect. I see a little promontory up on that cliff there. Just go ahead. I'll meet you there. How will I do it? Ah, don't worry about me. I'll manage to snake my way up.
Get it? There's a lot of dangerous games for you to stream. That's fair. Look.
What? You built a house? For me? Well, you shouldn't have, really. But since it's there, I guess it would be rude of me not to move in. Thank you so very much, sweetheart.
You're welcome. I can't wait to figure out what your spirit form actually is. We need to integrate the diocese, or the internet into its own diocese. I wish it could work that way sometimes. Here we have Orlando has the moon. I sometimes see people posting like, oh, that's not true according to the code of 1917. And it's like, I don't care. It's funny to say Orlando has jurisdiction over the moon. Why did I eat candy when I knew I was about to do some talking? It's Haribo gummies, so it's not easy to chew.
Ah, I haven't lost my touch, have I? I might be old, but I still have a few tricks up my sleeve. And beating younglings in a climbing race has always been a specialty of mine. But enough of this, let's focus on the matter at hand. This lesson, as you might have guessed, will be a little special. Up to now, we focused on proper care of plants and crops. Well now, I think it's time to concentrate on the proper care of one's mind. Sunlight and music were the tools of the former. Well, for the latter, our tool will be the act of meditating. And that's specifically why I brought you here. See this boulder? It hasn't been consecrated for nothing. Powerful spiritual energies flow through the area. I know, it might seem strange. Occult even. But just humor me. First thing, sit down. Sit down next to me just like this. Alright, your turn. Meditation, Stella, is an affair of wholeness and of oneness. A lot of novices believe wrongfully that meditating is the pursuit of an empty mind. The mind is not empty, Stella. It is a beast, savage and untamed, violent and caring. Don't know if I agree with that. Loving and destructive. Hateful, curious, scared. A ball of frayed nerves, much like the dragon, it cannot be controlled. It must be allowed to roam free.
Bye, Junie. Thank you for the raid.
My father also lived with this tormented creature. Of a different kind, perhaps. He chose to fight it. He tried to muscle it down his submission, to mark it under the auspice of violence, and mostly to silence it. He thought that nothingness was the solution. But the dragon is indomitable. The fight left my father a broken man. Let your mind wander, Stella. Gently, like you would a scared kitten. Let it smell the grass. Let it notice the wind flowing through your hair, the heat radiating from the stone behind you, the rhythmic breaking of the waves below. Let your spirit penetrate all things, not to make them yours, but to make yourself theirs. Be one and be whole, but keep being.
There's a rich school of tradition of meditating in the Catholic world that I wish got better attention. But mindfulness meditation itself can be very helpful. Big fan of that. And honestly, just sitting in God's creation, I may not agree with the whole, oh, this stone has spiritual energies, but I could agree that a beautiful vista is a way to encounter God and the way that God has created the goodness and the beauty of the world.
Shall we? Well, it seems my lesson has had quite the influence. You were up there for hours. I just had to stretch my legs at some point. What were you saying? A vision? Of course. You're the Spiritfarer, after all. The mystical energies of this world are bound to affect you in mysterious ways. I'm sure there are other such powerful areas. If you find them, be sure to take time to meditate. Perhaps visions will rain down upon your mind. You know, Stella, while you were up there, I tried to do some thinking. I wanted to prepare for our next lesson. There's still so much to teach, but I couldn't think. My mind wasn't easy. For you see, I too have had a vision. A gift from the universe. It's the dragon, Stella. I have felt him creeping slowly towards me. I thought I had some grand purpose to accomplish before he would swallow me whole. But now I realize that the dragon hasn't crept much at all. He has kept up with me for quite a while now, and ignoring it won't do me any good. Now let's go, shall we?
Our friend is bringing their sheep back with them, I think.
What is this? Oh, a little ceremony. All right, I'll do my best.
You're a hedgehog.
Oh, this is really pleasant. Soft as a waffle and warm as a pie.
I need to use that in regular conversation. Soft as a waffle and warm as a pie.
I feel young again. Thank you so much for having found me, young one. Don't you worry about me. I'll find my way around.
Let's give you a hug. Aww.
Oh, that was very nice. Thank you.
I bet you'd like a cup of tea. Oh, you're not hungry. Okay. Let's plant some coffee. I'm gonna start cooking up some coffee too. Nope. What are you looking at?
Oh, would you look at that, Stella? This little sheep wanted to come with us. I guess it didn't like its new companion very much after all. Well, no worry. We'll take good care of you. But first, all this wool doesn't look uncomfortable, doesn't it? And, oh no, we're on a boat. It's like that story of the flock of sheep that fell off a boat. Oh, we can't have that. Go ahead, Stella. Shear the wool off its back. It's for the best.
Now you have to go and make yourself some tea. I sheared that sheep so hard it generated a key. see, a scallop and a mushroom. Why not? That'll probably just... What am I drinking? Water. But rose cardamom chai, that sounds good. Nope, wrong staircase. That works. And fortunately, we never left Mount Toriyama, so we have the key to the gate. Or to the house here. Ooh, shellfish stew. That's new. What's her house like? Very quaint. But it has the green shutters. Cherry seeds in a ceramic bowl. I suppose I should start exploring the new islands I have available to me. Seems like a good use of our last 20 or so minutes together. Oh, this has a shop even. And it has pork. PG Tips decaf. Hey, PG Tips is good stuff. Wait, no. I want to talk to this guy. Mr. Sellerman. No, don't go. Ah, Dingo's fed kidneys. He got away. He got too far. Oh, well, aren't you feeling better? Oh, it's safer, too. And that key, I thought I had lost it. Oh, but it's stuck in your thick coat all this time. What a treat. As for you, Stella, I know you'll find good use for this extra wool. It's one of my favorite materials. I chose it exclusively for all my blankets. My husband, of course, always thought they were scratchy. He was such a grump. Anyway, the sheep's wool will grow back very quickly, but only if it's well fed. And this one seems to have quite a large appetite. I suggest you diligently feed him. Otherwise, he might get into your garden and destroy your crops. Oh, but imagine building a sheep corral where you could keep him in place. I do have a sheep corral. You should probably do that as soon as possible. For the good of the sheep and that of your crops. Tee-hee. Gotta love when you beat a stall deck in Pokemon. Nice. I mean, just beating a stall deck or control deck in anything feels nice. Of course, I play control, so, you know. Ooh, control. I know, Gale. But control is so much fun because I'm dictating how the game is going. Oh no, I overheated. Oh no! Oh, overheating's bad. That completely reset the temperature and everything. Oof. Because I've been able to go over the maximum just a wee bit before, but this one must have gone too far. I just want to Unga Punga a big wave to your face. Hashtag green. All right. Good. Thank you for the raid, Bree. Good to see you. Furagawa discovered. It's got a nice town. It's very pretty. Give me my ingots. Now I can go buy some pork. Hey, Squirrel Itch, thank you for the 100 bits. Point farming also while I'm here for the little time that I am. Any tips for praying the Liturgy of the Hours? Start small. Do not attempt to do all the hours on day one. Start with, pick 1 hour, morning or evening, or night prayer. I'd recommend one of those three. Night prayer is the shortest of those options. And just focus on doing that rhythmically, regularly for a bit. Because if you try to be like, I'm going to pray all the hours every day, it can lead to you being discouraged when you don't, and it takes some practice to get into. But, find 1 hour that you want to do and do it regularly at a set time. Like, I'm going to do morning prayer at 8:30 in the morning or whatever works for you. And, just work with that and let that build up, and then be like, okay, I'm at a good point. Now I'll add an evening prayer, and then, just keep going from there. So I hope that helps. Liturgy of the Hours is a beautiful way to pray. Oh, no, thank you. I don't want to buy your magazine subscriptions or whatever you're selling. I'm not selling anything. I just said hello. Where is my brother? He should be here. There's some sort of owl statue on top of this building, which is what we saw in our vision. Ooh, new person to join. Oh, what impeccable timing. I'm in dire need of assistance. I can tell from your friendly and familiar face that you are undoubtedly the helpful type. Listen, I'm looking to complete this set of 5 traditional wood prints. They date from the Ushiro period. As such, are invaluable. I found 4 of them, but alas, the last one eludes me. I am certain it is in this village. Furthermore, I am absolutely positive it was recently in the possession of the local shopkeeper, Theodore. But he refuses to even acknowledge its existence. What an irksome little man. Raccoon, Tanuki, whatever he is. But with your help, yes. With that sweet little smile of yours and generally non-threatening attitude, well, I'm sure you can schmooze your way into acquiring that last precious piece. That would be the last missing piece of this slippery puzzle. Well, go on, Skipper. I can't wait. You have brother? Tony gave you the same advice? Well, it's good advice. In terms of making sure you're doing it right, there's some guides online, like videos of folks doing them that you can join along with, or audio recordings. So you can, and there's, in many ways, there are many ways to do liturgy hours, so it can be complicated. Because there can be regional variations or personal variations. So, find a rhythm that works for you. All right, what do you have for sale? Pork! I need that. And now I'm out of money. I need to sell you some stuff. I do have some... Where are they? Ooh, that amethyst is worth something. Gonna sell that. But I do also have... Didn't I have like a... Can I not sell him my trinkets? Because I had like a... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Tchotchke. He's not letting me sell any tchotchke to him. I guess... Glide ability. Yes. I would like a glide ability. Yes, it is with the hat. I am so happy. Look at the ridiculous size of my hat. I never want to go back home. Being here is sublime. If you want to stay at my place, you're more than welcome. Here's my key. If the door stays jammed, you just have to give it a good tug. It always gets stuck. I want to enjoy this view forever. It's like Flying Nun, exactly. Give me your goodies. Okay, I'll take some linen seeds. Large glint bottle's not bad either. Okay, we're gonna go bake this pork. Give it to Uncle, because he's been dying for some pork chops for a while. And then we're probably going to call it there for the day. Oh, I have mail. A letter from Albert. Dear valued customer, we are running a special promotion. Encloses a new typeface, new type of billing, and all includes fun-tacular series and air draft device. Okay. Did I get my joke and miss it? Yes, you did. I'm afraid it was, I made a bedrock joke. It was after I had just given, our snake friend, whose name I can never remember. I had just given her all the gems, and I said, man, with all those gems, you'd think I'd have a good bedrock for a joke by now. Something down to earth, indeed. Okay, I need to find the wandering merchant to buy some more seeds from him, I think. I've been looking at my house. It's a little bare bones. As an amateur handyman, this doesn't work at all. Maybe we should improve it. And a few bells and whistles. I don't know what exactly. Let me have a good look. Follow me. What? I already gave you a shower. Oh, you've already started with the improvements. Carry on. Oh, do you know what my house needs? A desk and some tools. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I know we don't have a lot of space on this boat, but this is kind of becoming a dream scenario of mine. My bed next to my tools. It would be like I'm living my fantasy. I could work on my own projects. Maybe build something for my daughter, Ashley. Yeah, what's the use, right? It's not like I'm ever going to see her again. I should stop daydreaming about it. I'm just trapped here. You know what's not funny? I can't even remember her face. So let's just get that desk and I'll figure out what to make. Oh. He remembered his life and he remembered that he can't go back to his daughter because he's technically dead. Here, Uncle O'Toole, I have something that will cheer you up. What? Pork chops? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm so excited. They look so tasty. And they are. Sprout, you're a miracle. You know that? Oh, and they're just so good. Aha. Now I feel a bit guilty. I'm sorry about running all those culinary errands for me.
Look, there was this kid at work, Craig. We used to have these long and tight union negotiations, all-nighters. Everyone would be at standstill. Everyone was so hungry, and every restaurant was closed. So I'd send Craig to these endless 24-hour grocery store crawls for me. I'd ask these impossible gets saffron, sumac, or even anise. Oh, it was something like 2 o'clock in the morning. Our goal was just to make the tastiest chops in the world, a meal for everyone on both sides of the table, to calm heads and appease stomachs. The first part didn't always work, but everyone was always well fed. I don't know how he did it, but Craig always find everything on my list. He would joke with me that he would have to break into people's houses to get this stuff. Oh, maybe he did. I don't know how you did it, Sprout. You made these taste like home. Here's to you and Craig.
Yay! I want to see... Okay, so we need aluminum ingots, which I haven't even come across aluminum yet. Glass. I know I can make wool fabric. That's not the question. Comet powder. So I need to find some aluminum. Where's my my... There it is. Okay, wool thread. Make that into fabric. We'll sleep. And we'll wake everyone up, and that'll be a great place to call it for the day. So save and quit. So thank you so much to everyone for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. We've been continuing Spiritfarer. This game, yeah, I'm thoroughly enwrapped by this game. I enjoy it. I recommend checking it out. But yeah, thank you to everyone for joining. Thank you to everyone who followed today. Got a lot of new followers, and so thank you for that. Thank you for the 3 raids. Thank you, P. Tony, Breedy Bard, and Junie Perwood. So thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who gave bits, subscribed, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Next week, we'll be continuing Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories on Monday for RPG Monday. For Tuesday, we're going to be switching to a new game for Retro Tuesday for the month. It's going to be Nerf Arena Blast. It's a FPS from my childhood. I love it, and looking forward to doing that with y'all. And we're continuing Spiritfarer for Spirituality Thursday until we're done with it. So that should be a lot of fun. Go ahead, check out the Discord, the YouTube. Thank you for all the follows again, and it's good to see y'all. Hope you have a great weekend. And let's see if I can now raid someone. Hey, Possum's live. Let's go raid Possum Blossom. So, all right, thank y'all. Take care and God bless.